We are live. Holy shite. So, folks, I am Eric Tenkar, your problematic member of the OSR and an occasional bartender. Uh, with me, below me today, because it's Skeeter. Skeeter had to get a priority seating. But below me is none other than Bad Mike Battalato, my minimum once a week work spouse. This month he's been working some overtime. So, Mike, welcome.
Yes, I'm in a prison in Russia, and it's a long story. It's a long story.
People looking for him.
It makes the last season of Stranger Things look tame. What happened to me, kids? No, I'm in a hotel because there's so much major construction going on at my house. So if you know Alex Kamer online, I don't know. Well, I can't really say this word because I don't want to demonetize Eric off the bat, but he has an event that his whole house is getting torn down the last 2 years, and it's been ridiculous. Mine's pretty close. And so I got tired of breathing in particulate matter that's probably caused cancer. And when they were sawing into cement and drywall and pipes. And so I finally wised up when I started blowing my nose and blood was coming out. Skeeter says it's cocaine, but I'm too fat to be using cocaine. You would know I'm not a cokehead. But we talked to the insurance company, and they said, "Oh yeah, we'll put you." I mean, we have like premium insurance. I'm like, "Oh yeah, we'll put you up for a month." I'm like, "Free hotel for a month? Bing, count me in." So I'm staying at a Homewood Suites about a mile away with a pool and a free breakfast and a workout room, and I mean, it's cable TV, and it's nice, man. The kitchenette. I may not go back home afterwards. I may move everything I own into this suite and just stay here.
You posh bitch.
So just so you know, folks.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. If you're
I don't know, right, left, however.
I don't know where Skeeter is. I can't answer that question.
Skeeter's right above you, on your shoulder.
No, I don't know where he is physically or mentally. I don't know where he is mentally.
Neither do I.
Yeah. Spiritually, I know where he is.
Yeah.
In the cyber realm, he's right next to me. Although me myself, look, I'm someplace different.
Yeah, well, we're all changing. We're all going through changes here.
When it's time to change, you have to rearrange who you are.
Eric, I know when I see that behind him, I know Poconos. I called him last night.
Yes.
Saw that, and I said, "You're in the Poconos," because I know
Eric had to explain to me what the Poconos were because being from the West Coast, man, I don't know what the hell the Poconos are. I've never been there.
Do you know the history of the Poconos, though?
Sort of. I mean, I know all this stuff from like movies and shit.
Yeah,
it
was the Borscht. They call it the Borscht, not the Borscht Belt. The is that what they call it?
It's part of the Borscht. The Poconos and the Catskills are kind of.
It's where all the Jewish comedians would go in the 40s and 50s, and they would run all the material in the clubs there before they went, into Vegas or the big clubs in New York or whatever. So it was you go out there and there are these little clubs, the Catskills and the Poconos would have these big name Jewish comics out there. So you get to see Henny Youngman any day of the week. I mean, come on.
Henny.
It's the tip of the Appalachians, just the tip.
Nothing but the tip. Now, history going back before that, the Poconos is historically coal country. The first locomotive to ever run in the United States ran, I don't know, like a mile and a half out of Honesdale hauling coal, and it works. Let's go back to having donkeys pull the coal carts along the water because rail is too much trouble. But it is the birthplace of the American Railroad, so to speak. So
awesome.
There you go. There's the news you didn't give a shit about.
Yeah. I'm sure everybody tuned in to find out about the Poconos.
I like to know all the history of where everybody's at. I want full histories. So I need to know, Skeeter, the full history of Seattle the last year ago.
The full history of Seattle in the last year. Actually, the beginning of Seattle's history is great. Prostitutes ran the town.
Oh shit!
Like no shit, and then it burned to the ground.
The politicians
and then they built another town on top of it. So
yes, because the prostitutes had all the money. It's awesome. They have a underground tour of Seattle where you can go. Yeah, and they talk about it. If you go to the 18+ version, they talk all about the history of prostitution in Seattle. It's wonderful. Yeah. They were the business ladies.
Nice. Yeah, so my wife and I love Seattle so much. We went there for our honeymoon. And now this is back in the days when you could walk the streets and not run into a riot or something. But we went to Portland. We went to Portland and drove up to Seattle and then stayed there for whatever, then drove back to Portland. And we didn't feel unsafe walking the streets. This is in the late 90s. Now I probably wouldn't do that now, but it was great. We went on all the tours, went on all the underground tour, all the history of Seattle tour. I mean, it was really interesting. It's a very interesting town. It's very, very, the history is very, very interesting.
Yeah, the underground part is really cool. The above ground part on, let's say, 3rd Avenue, nope, don't do that. Nope.
Not recommended on the tour.
No, the city actually gave it up to the homeless and the bums and the psychopaths. So the cops don't even go down 3rd Avenue anymore.
Oh.
It's like Escape from New York.
God,
I mean, it is. They absolutely gave it up.
Same thing's happening in Austin, Texas. So where the University of Texas is, as there's a street called Guadalupe. On the other side, there used to be all these these really cool, like in the 80s when I used to visit my friends. There's all these cool restaurants and stores and music stores and this and that. And time went by, and slowly they gave it up more and more to the homeless. Now you can't. It's like a no-go zone. You don't cross that street. And sometimes the homeless cross the street and they do bad things on the school side, but they're actually not allowed. So they've said, okay, look, as long as you own this part of the town now, just don't come to the university. So every store is shut down. There's no commerce. Every restaurant moved, every whatever moved. And it's just a bunch of abandoned buildings and homeless as far as the eye can see. And on the other side is University of Texas. So Guadalupe is a no-go zone now, which is sad because when I was a kid, that was the hang. You used to walk up and down the street. It was the hangout. That's where you went to go get pizza or go get a, get a really kick-ass Smithereens album or something. Or
it's the same Austin, Texas, with the worst 9/11 hold time in the state of Texas. I think the average is like 50 seconds, but people have been on hold for as long as like 17 minutes with a dead body in their yard.
Part of the problem with Austin is Austin's way overpopulated right now because, first of all, it's not even though it's the capital of Texas, it's not a really great big town. And so it has the capital there. It's got the university there. So it's got all these big things in there, yet they don't have the infrastructure. So it's traffic and people crammed in. And everybody from the West and East Coast that goes to Texas wants to go to Austin because Austin is probably the bluest city in Texas. So the problem is they don't all fit, and they all come. And so it's just a mess. It's a mess of a city. Ty could tell you. Anybody from Texas is listening could tell you. It's an absolute mess. When we go down to South Texas, we go around Austin. There's actually an interstate that goes around Austin. We haven't been through Austin probably 10 years because it's an absolute mess. The last time my daughter, it looks like it's shorter to go through Austin when you go back and forth. We go around. The last time my daughter disregarded our advice and said, I'll just go through the middle of Austin. Like it looks faster. It's not faster. They got to see homeless people fornicating on the sidewalk 5 feet away from their car with their kids in the back seat. And I was like, yeah, you know what? You get exactly what you deserve because I told you not to go through Austin.
Show and tell is awesome.
Yeah. That shit happens.
I mean, if you got to do it on the sidewalk, you got to do it on the sidewalk.
Well, you see now, we're going to use
a hotel room.
We're going to use this as a prelude to what the Ennies discussion is going to be like.
Oh,
if you thought this was a load of shit and offensive to your sensibilities, wait till we start talking about
we're going from that to the Ennies.
Hey, so these guys were nice enough to let me on. I actually attached a seatbelt to my chair to keep me strapped in because we're gonna talk some shit about some shit.
All my that sounds like some wicked shit. And I'm not from Boston, but I can say that, right?
No, we need Ian McGarty for that,
or Matt Roberts.
Yeah, we need Roberts. Ian McGarty, our good friend, is on Joey Royale's pizza party tonight.
Oh, so good for him.
A pizza party? I haven't had a pizza party since
a pizza party.
It sounds yummy.
It does sound good. Fuck this. Let's cancel the show and I'll go get some pizza.
I mean,
We're in 3 totally different places. Okay, so I mean, do you want to lube this up or do you want to just go right in?
Oh no, we're gonna go in raw, man.
So Eric had a really good, if not, but it was really long and boring YouTube about Ennies. It got boring because you're naming off all these games I've never heard of when you're going through categories. Because I've only heard of 3 of the. I only care about 3 of the companies. I didn't care about anybody else. I cared about Vesson and I cared about.
Yeah, that's part of my point.
Yeah, and so I didn't care about anybody else. Everybody else, they're just people. I didn't, whatever. And so Eric's done a really good background on this. And when I saw the Ennies, I looked like I usually do. I'm like, okay, a bunch of people I never heard of, and then I kind of had the same reaction Skeeter did, not as crazy when I saw, like, wait a second, what's WotC doing on there? I thought WotC and Paizo permanently retired themselves from entering their products as awards because they won so many awards in the past.
They retired themselves, right?
Yes, they retired themselves.
This wasn't the Ennies is going to remove you because you guys just put you're too big to play in this sandbox. No, these guys were like, all right, we don't want to be regarded as bullies. Well, we know we're great. We know we're awesome and all our shit win stuff. So we're going to withdraw from it and not enter our stuff anymore. But they entered one thing from what I can gather. One thing. The, what is it? The Radiant Citadel?
Journeys through the Radiant Citadel.
That sounds like something a hamster would say. I'm going to do the Journeys to the Radiant. Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm looking, a bunch of people that I know have been talking about the Ennies. I go every year to help support, Chaosium, other companies that need the rub a little bit. So here's the category, the Ennies 2023 Best Adventure. This is chosen by judges using whatever arcane criteria they use.
Right. Absolutely. Very subjective. Yeah, very subjective.
Now, before we go into this, I want a little background. We talked about briefly before we went live. The judges for the Ennies used to literally be like there's 5 judges. 4 judges would repeat every year, and one would take a year off and I don't know, go fuck cows or something like that. Whoa. And then they'd come back the following year and somebody else would go one. So you could show that there's a new face every once in a while, but there really wasn't a new face. And then people
I don't know any of the judges.
Well, which is
I don't
good.
know.
Nobody does.
Yes, that's fine.
They
post it now.
All right. Well, here's
nobody cares. Well, let's say nobody.
Here's the thing, though. Being a judge is before it was hand me down. Somebody would hand it down to their spouse. Saw it. I did a little coverage on it, and then suddenly the Ennies became, you can't have the position longer than 2 years in a row. You can't repeat, and you can't be in the industry. In other words, you can't be a creator. So if you can't be a creator, how are you going to be known? Well, the Ennies judges, and this is something that people forget about, are actually elected by
they're voted in.
They're voted in by people who just, and I'm not going to say vote to board because I don't think anybody wants to buy that vote, but it is a social media contest to get enough votes to become one of the 5 judges, because what the 5 judges get, which is often forgotten by the public, is a nearly unlimited supply of gaming material for a year, because anything that's being considered has to be, unless it's in that digital column, if it's a physical product, you get the physical product. You live in Siberia and you're a judge, you happen to get that position. Everybody has, if you're going to enter, you have to send Siberia a copy. And they can do with it at the end what they want. Some of them sell it in the aftermarket. Some of them give it to libraries and stuff.
It's a very lucrative position. It's a very lucrative
potentially, yep. There's a Gillespie in the house. Jesus Christ.
So you saw this list, Skeeter, and what happened in your Skeeter head?
So I look at this list and first off, I know I'm not going to know half of these products. I'm never going to have heard of them. And honestly, once I digest that a little bit, that's probably a good thing.
Yes.
I don't want 10,000 products every year that are something I know about and are catering to me. I don't particularly care about it. That's fine. I like the idea of the Ennies where it's expanding to get more people into gaming, because then there's going to be more people and that creates notionally better products. Sometimes it dilutes it and makes garbage. I don't know. I think it's notionally a good idea. So I start looking at the Ennies this year. And the first thing I see is they have a judges spotlight winners.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know what that means. I mean, what is like the judges specifically pick a title they thought was better?
They got a handy.
This is my favorite. If I could choose the game of the year, this is it. This is what I'm choosing. That I believe.
That makes sense. And wouldn't that be best fucking adventure or best product? This is just adding. This is my personal favorite.
Yeah, it's gives
somebody a trophy. Didn't make the list. Usually that's not otherwise nominated. Like, what's the best thing I liked that didn't make the nomination list? Oh, Tenkar's ass wipe toilet enhancer. Yeah, it didn't make nobody else. I like it.
So
I'll make sure.
So with that, the judges spotlight winners, I'm going to go through just the titles and who won. I'm going to do this quickly. I'm not going to bog this down and make this stupid.
Okay.
One Breath Left from Stout Stoat Press. No idea what that means. Dungeons of Drakkenheim, Ghostfire Gaming. I think I've heard of Dungeons of Drakkenheim. Void 1680 AM, Bannerless Games.
Mm-hmm.
Moonlight on Roseville Beach, a queer game of disco and cosmic horror, which I love because that makes no goddamn sense, but I'm very interested.
That would be a con game. That'd be a great con game, right?
Yeah. The list of authors is 2 full lines on a page. There's got to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Under 20, but real close. I'm pointing that out because that's going to be relevant when I go on my full-on bare-ass rant about a small publishing company later. And then Faycraft from Exalted Funeral. Exalted Funeral, great company, doing a lot of work. Our buddy Levi Combs has a new book of Vorpal Almanac coming out from them. Good stuff. So Exalted Funeral is a distributor that is getting into publishing. They are creating their own books. They still technically count as a small publisher at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So them getting some rub from these things, I can get behind. That is perfectly fine. This is a marketing tool. However, when we jump to Best Adventure, now I start to get pissed off.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Oh, pick me, Mr. Carter, pick me. Oh, no, I already know where you're going.
Broken Tales, The World Anvil Publishing. Don't know who that is. I think it's World Anvil, but their publishing arm, maybe?
I guess, yeah. It was.
I don't know. Unexpected Wedding Invitation from Midnight Tower. That tells me nothing, but is weird. So cool. Vaesen RPG, Seasons of Mystery from Freely.
Awesome game.
I love Vaesen. I think this is great.
Mm-hmm.
VHS Very Horror Stories from Aces Games. I don't understand. Now, I'm going to cinch up a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Because next and last in Best Adventure is Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel by Wizards of the Coast.
Oh, not the listen, that's not the real Wizards of the Coast, right? This is like their B team.
Well, it's enough for a goddamn 11-on-11 football squad because the authors, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,
right.
16 authors.
All right.
Well, wait, wasn't this the product?
Because it's a compendium of like 16 adventures.
They held up a piece of they held up a small mirror and they asked people to breathe on it, and if your breath could actually spell out a W, if somebody put a finger on it, you got hired because you breathed. I mean,
so I have heard of none of the people who are listed on Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel, which is good. I think it's great getting new authors, giving them their shot because somebody's going to pan out. However, I would be willing to bet real money that this is the team of diversity hires that WotC got to help their PR machine after stepping in and then swimming through their shitty announcements earlier this year. I could be way off base, and if I am, I will be the first person to apologize. But bring it to me and prove that I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong, and I'm happy to apologize. But you better fucking prove it.
Oh, wait. See, that's bad. You said, tell me I'm wrong, I will apologize. And then you amend it.
And then prove it.
Right. There's the proving part. Listen, this is social media. And for those that don't know, there's a new list going out, and apparently I'm problematic. But I only made tier 2. I didn't make the first tier of the no list. I only made the problematic list. This is really, nobody needs to prove anything. This is social media, right? Nobody brings receipts. They're just going to tell you. They're going to talk out of their ass and tell you, Skeeter, you're wrong. And I'm going to tell you. I happen
to know a gentleman in this stream right now who always comes correct with his receipts. So, yeah. No, social media has been something I haven't given a fuck about since the Twitter posse came to me and threatened my wife at game conventions. So if you want to digitally attack me, go to town. If you want to physically attack me, go to town.
Good luck. Good luck.
You want to threaten my family? You better hope I don't see you in the reels. That is not okay. And you have, Eric, been involved with some folks that have tried to pull that maneuver. And have you ever seen them in the reels?
You know what? They dispute what actually happened in the reels. I know what I remember, and they dispute it. They dispute actually what happened on the webs, because some people, the internet is like a very bad bar. You know, when you go into a bar and you get that vibe because there's sawdust on the floor to cover up the blood and the puke, and peanut shells. That's the internet. So people go.
I love those places.
I know, but people go into the internet.
And I used to look for those places when I drank.
I know about them because I used to go to them too. All right, and they go to these places because they get their internet muscles on, and it's like, hey, you're woke, and you're a Nazi, and you're this, and you're that, and then you confront them in real life, and they're like, because nobody, honestly, there's very few people on the internet that are going to back up their words on the internet. Just like in a bar, if somebody's talking shit, and first off, you're more sober, and you go back to them and you go, did you fucking say something? Huh? No, bro, no, I didn't. You must have misheard me, right? Because it makes them feel tough until they get called on it. Now, I understand. I guess my point of view is a little bit different because my perspective comes from my prior occupation, and also comes from the fact that I'm retired. So, you know, people can make accusations of me being problematic, and it's made from both sides of the aisle. I know it tells me I'm doing something right, but they can make it. You know what? You can't cancel somebody who's retired and is not relying upon this industry for income. I do what I do because I enjoy it.
Right.
I get rewards for it. I get people who reach out to me and go, "Thank you for covering X. Thank you for talking about Y." Nobody else is. I was trying to figure out why nobody else was, yet you covered it. Nobody else was in certain instances because they can't afford to. Right? They can't afford to have a brigade of angry. You pick your political side coming after them, their family, their job. We see it. So
yeah, the amount of effort that would have to go into a campaign to get to my publisher or my printers and have them cancel me would be so epic. I would encourage somebody to try and do it, because as a small publisher, that's the only person I have to rely on. Everything else I do on my own. If the fans decide they don't want to buy my books because I spoke up and said the truth that other people don't want to, okay, don't buy my books. I'm not asking you to. I would love it if you like my work, then buy the book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not begging you to do it. I don't do this for my primary job. Well, I do it because I love the game.
We're very lucky that all three of the individuals here have very little we can be hurt by personally. If the Twitterati mob came after us, I'd be like, okay, yeah, what are you going to do? I mean, you're going to boycott what? I mean, so and the same with you guys. It's just it's they get really angry when there's not anything that can hold over your head. That's why sometimes they go after families, because they feel, well, this guy is an ass. I can't get this guy, but you know what? I can threaten his family. And then that's something that everybody cares about is your family. And thankfully, unlike you two, I've never had anybody in my family threatened, and which I would think would be a joke anyway, too.
Mike, we're going to have to level you up at some point.
Let's just say I don't want to go into much detail, but if you threaten my wife, you might get a visit from the FBI because of her job and what she does. So that would be a terrible move.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous.
So it doesn't bother us, and that's why we can speak our minds a lot more than. And I understand when some people can't speak their minds. I mean, I absolutely understand if you can't. If you're in the industry and you're doing X or Y or Z, I understand that you can't do it.
So I have some people that I have worked with in the industry that chose not to speak up about something I'm going to talk about later. And I am going to be respectful of their wishes and not drop names, but I am going to drop the situation for damn sure.
There you go.
So I asked a certain someone multiple times, can we please tell your story? Can we please tell your story? And they said they would prefer not to, because they are dependent on the industry and the grapevine and all that kind of stuff. And I am going to respect their wishes, but I will generally talk about the situation for damn sure.
I know of a person that I've worked with that was told they should quit Frog God Games because of circumstances. They said, I can't because that's my job. And the person said, so what? I don't care. Well, if I don't have my job, I'm homeless living in the streets because I'm disabled. I don't care. Either quit it or you're not my friend anymore, because that's what you just have to do. I mean, it's absolutely insane. I mean, I don't care I don't care if you're homeless. You just need to quit your job to make a point. Come on.
That's ridiculous.
Yes.
I mean, people need to get a fucking clue. The people who are doing that are the ones that are pushing for hey, I just want to live my bliss. Can you give me a basic income that I have all the time so I don't have to work and I can just look at butterflies and commune with the sunshine?
Okay, because that's what I want to do.
I'm just going to drink whiskey. You look at butterflies. I'm drinking booze.
So back to the Ennies.
Radiant Citadel. Yes,
back to the Ennies. Yeah. So Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel, I have not read. And the reason that I have not read it is every single person who has told me anything about the book has said it is not good. I'm sorry. The autocorrect kicked in. everybody has told me that book is fucking shit.
Fucking shit. Again.
Fucking shit.
Fucking shit. Boston.
Like I mean, sexual fetish.
That's
fetish,
why.
Fucking shit.
But Skeeter, that's what happens when you assemble a group of writers based not on their ability to write, which they weren't. It was absolutely not their ability to write. It was checking off a checklist. Check, check, check. You're not going to get quality writing. You may get quality writing in a few cases, but in general, people who are not professional writers are asked to write are not going to do that great a job. It's just
What I applaud that Wizards of the Coast is doing is giving people opportunities. I think it's great because unless you have connections. I was very appreciative and gifted the opportunity when I started working with Necromancer Games. I tagged along with Bill Webb all the time. I got to see a network of people. I was very fortunate with the opportunities presented to me. That's basically how I got to be an author in this industry. It is difficult. If you do not know people, it is hard to get to a certain level. And that is not suggesting I am at any cool level, because I am not. There are tons of people doing way better than me because they put a little bit of effort into it where I do not. So I was very fortunate. Wizards of the Coast, Chaosium, Paizo, Kobold Press, Frog God Games, the Troll Lord guys, all of those people, when they give somebody an opportunity, it's very appreciated from freelancers and all that stuff. How fucking ever, when you get that opportunity, if you are doing it because you feel entitled, because you are bringing a different voice to the game, and you want to, I don't know, be like an executive who wants to get all straight white old guys out of the hobby, that is not your criteria for writing a game-winning book. You got to know your shit. Your writing has to be tight. Your rules have to be solid. You cannot just be whatever diversity hire
but not
of
just
the
that,
month.
Peter. Is it really? Isn't it kind of gaming the system when you give it to a book that has 16 authors? I mean, that's the equivalent of participation trophy. Because I don't know that what if 8 of those writers are good and 8 were just absolute garbage? That means the 8 garbage writers should get an award because the 8 good writers wrote something. That's where I had a problem with. I thought that was stupid.
I think that's absolutely valid. When you do a compilation book like that, there is going to be some flotsam that comes with the book. That's just the way those things happen. Masks of Nyarlathotep was genius even to this day, because that was a wide-ranging, that was essentially 5 different adventures merged together, and it's chef's kiss.
Yeah, but that was all Larry.
Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel is no Masks of Nyarlathotep.
Oh
sir.
My God! You mentioned them in the same breath, which you just I think the seal, the 7th seal crack.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna pay for that later.
Because Matt Mass is one of the not just one of the best Call of Cthulhu adventures ever written. It's one of the top 10 RPG adventures ever written in the history of our
absolutely,
hobby.
and it's just a good read.
It was Larry Dattilo with a little help from a few people, but it was basically one person that wrote a massive kick-ass adventure, and it's hard for me to believe that people can't do that anymore. I just can't believe that. I mean, and I'm going to give one of our buddies some props. I shouldn't, but I'm going to. Zach wrote Wizard of Venom with his buddy. Just 2 of them, and actually Zach did pretty much 80% of the work. And I think that's the people who should be honored with this stuff is somebody that does something by themselves. If you want to have a separate category for best compilation of adventures, I have no problem with that. Best adventure compilation book, because Call of Cthulhu has tons of compilation books. I mean, every company does. I mean, Frog Gods had compilation books. Just put them in their own category, and if you want to give it to 16 authors, that's great. But having that as the best adventure, I think is idiotic. It's just stupid.
Well,
and it wasn't done well.
Well, no, read the reviews. I just flipped through some reviews while we're talking because they're generally the best reviews are lukewarm. Those are the best ones are lukewarm. All the other ones are saying this is terrible. This is just an absolutely terrible, production. So it makes you wonder, how did it make the final 5? If the reviews are pretty much, I know it's WotC. It's WotC, and and look, our hobby has payola just like the music industry used to have payola, right? I mean, hey, you're gonna get, we're gonna send you some free review copies of all our stuff. Wink, wink. I mean, you're gonna give some really good reviews for that, right? Because if you don't, you're not gonna be getting any more free product. So you see these generally lukewarm reviews, especially on YouTube. Streamers do this all the time. Streamers can't make anybody mad, because if you make them mad, you don't get their games, you don't get their trips to
that's what I'm doing
Seattle. Like they did WotC brought all those people into Seattle earlier this year. I mean, you don't get that when you start leaving negative reviews. You get put on the shit list, and the shit list means you don't get freebies anymore.
So Mike, what you're saying is when you leave truthful reviews, you're not going to get. And listen, I don't review all that much. Stuff that excites me is stuff that I want to review, but I don't get like free stuff. When I do get something that is sent to me because, Tenkar, you want a review copy? I won't say no, but when I review it, I will mention, hey, I was gifted a review copy by, so-and-so publishing, and let you know right up front, because you need to know if something is being compensated in any way, even if it's just a review copy. I know the pundits always like, well, I will only review things where you send me a physical product to my secret location in Central America, and I don't guarantee good reviews, which is all right, fine. But do you bother reviewing stuff that you yourself stumble across and say, holy shit, this is good, and I didn't get it for free. I paid for it. Oh, I'm not going to review it? Is that really,
every time SGP has sent physical product to a reviewer to review, it has come with the asterisks that I have sent these people. I will send this to you, no problem. I'm happy for you to have it. You have to promise me 100% getting this free product does not influence your review at all. If you want to write a terrible review because my book is bad, you write it. That is something that needs to be done, because people don't always know. They certainly don't know who to trust.
Right. Well, I want to
see online. Oh my God!
Despite the fact that Skeeter Green wrote this, it's actually pretty good, and I actually enjoyed it.
That is surprisingly common.
Eric and I got the box Swords of Mystery, which we liked everything about the box set. We gushed on about it, except for the font size, which we couldn't read it because we're too old.
Right.
And so we said that. We said, hey, we love Matt Finch. We love this product. We like the artwork's great, this and that, but we can't use it at the table because the font's too small. And I don't know if that pissed anybody off. I did get an email from somebody that said, "Oh, you had to mention that." Like I did. We had to mention that because it's part of the deal. But
I have to put all that kind of stuff on my Kindle and take it to the game table, because when I'm at the table, I'm moving around enough. The shit needs to be big so I can see it, because I'm moving. I'm not just sitting there, reading a book, not seeing my players. I want to stand up and be able to see it from there. So that's what I have to do. So, yeah, I mean, that's a bummer. So anyway, I want to go through these categories really quick, just so some people who don't care about the Ennies, which should honestly be a lot more people than it is.
Yeah.
Best adventure.
Can we get a drum roll, Mike? Can you
I don't know. See, I'm so fancy.
Yeah. We're not
Best adventure, Seasons of Mystery at Free League. I mean, that they are just top shelf with everything they do. Best aid accessory digital. I don't know any of those products nor any of those companies. Best aid accessory non-digital.
Is that like a finger? Oh, never mind.
Q Workshop has a set of dice.
No.
Other than that, nope.
I didn't know they were still making dice. I'm joking. That's all they fucking.
Best art cover. The only company I know is Pelgrane Press, and I have no pick for anybody in the category.
Which category was Duck Quest nominated under?
Is that Darcy? That's Darcy, right?
I don't know. Yeah. I haven't gotten to that one yet.
Right.
Best art interior. Free League Publishing, Mythic Britain and Ireland, which is a gorgeous product.
I would expect that, yeah.
Best cartography. We have Free League Publishing, Kobold Press, Duck Quest, Exalted Funeral, and Mongoose Publishing. I don't know about Duck Quest. I don't know too much about Campaign Builder, Cities and Towns Mapfolio from Kobold Press, but Free League Publishing's entry is Blade Runner RPG starter set, and gorgeous.
It got very good reviews too.
I'm not going to tell anybody what to pick in best cartography. That is going to depend on your personal likes and.
I believe
it got high praise. That's a very highly praised game. So,
yeah. But I believe with Duck Quest, I believe that Monkey Blood, Glenseal, I believe, I'm going from memory here, did the
Glenn has done a lot of work for me over the years, and his stuff is his most recent stuff is so amazing. It's like I don't know if I could even afford to have him work on anything. Best electronic book. The Gauntlet Gaming Community, which rubs me the wrong way, but it's the Brindlewood Bay game, and it's hilarious. It's wonderful, and people should check it out. Miskatonic Repository has Host and Hostility 3 Regency Call of Cthulhu scenarios. The book is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And it may seem kind of weird doing Regency era games, maybe like, oh, I'm not going to do that. I don't need to have high tea. It's good stuff. Let's see. Nothing else in there. Best family game and product. We have Avatar Legends, the role-playing game starter set. Color My Quest. Horseshoe Academy, Princess Guard, and the Goblings. I have no opinion. I don't like any of them just off of reading the titles. Best free game product? No. I'm just not interested. Best game? Nothing. I don't even know any of the companies. Best layout and design is, again, Blade Runner from Free League. I don't know any of the other companies. Best monster adversary.
What the fuck is that?
Free League Publishing with Ruins of Symborium, Bestiary. I don't know any of the other companies.
I need more free shit. I gotta make up more categories.
Best online content. Eric is not nominated.
I missed it again.
We missed it.
I've never heard of any of the people on there.
Can I make a safe bet that neither is Vince Florio?
Yeah.
Too
best organized play. I've never even heard of any of these.
I'm going along with you, and yeah, this is just we're just not with it, man. We're just not with it.
Now we get to one I have some knowledge in. Best podcast.
Okay, here we go.
Oh! Tell me.
So the ones
Ken and Robin talk about stuff 1, 2, and 3, right? No.
No. Call of Cthulhu, Bookshops of Arkham. Now, a lot of people don't like to watch or listen to actual play content. The Bookshops of Arkham is fantastic. If you get into it, it was engrossing. It shows you kind of how to play. The people are actors that are doing it, but they're playing the game, and they have some reactions for things they didn't expect to have happen, and it was really good. Seth Skorkowski, which I can never pronounce his name, is also a Call of Cthulhu person. So those podcasts, I would say, give them a shot. Best production values. The only one I can even recognize is Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay: The Enemy Within, Empire in Ruins of Collector's Edition, which is disqualified for having a title too long.
Not only that, this is like the 16th reprint of that, so I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah. We need it for the latest edition.
I mean, it's a great campaign, but good Lord, it's been out since like 1982.
Then we have Best RPG Related Product.
Okay.
I don't even know what that means.
Sex toys.
Dragon Bond, Dragons of the Red Moon.
Told you.
Epic Encounters, Cove of the Dragon Turtle. Improv for Gamers, 2nd edition. Owlbear Plush, which probably I would go for Owlbear Plush. Just
actually, the Owlbear Plush.
Owlbear Plush is Metal Weave Games.
Metal Weave Games does the yearly calendars of little like monster babies. It is cuter than it has any fucking right to be, and I always get them every year. I'm just saying that.
And the Fable Makers Animated Tarot box set. Whatever. Best rules. We have Magpie Games, Mongoose Publishing, Renegade Game Studios, the Gauntlet Gaming Community, Hedge Maze Press, and Rivers of London, the role-playing game from Chaosium, which I can tell you is a great game. It's Cthulhu light. It's really a great series of books, Rivers of London. After playing this at Chaosium Con, I bought the entire set of books because the rules captured enough interest that I wanted all of the information. Best setting. Pelgrane Press, Parable Games, another one for Pelgrane Press, Free League with Mythic Britain and Ireland, Studio Agate with theirs. So is anybody sick of the amount of categories yet? Because I tuned
out 30 minutes ago, and I'm absolutely right. Yeah, I don't care.
Well, we didn't get to the best ginger game writer creator.
So I'm going to end this with product of the year.
Oh, this should be good.
Broken Tales, The World Anvil Publishing, Eldritch Overload, Tarot and Codex from Weirdworks LLC, Fabula Ultima Core Rulebook from Need Games, Flabbergasted, The Wanderer's Tome, Household, Two Little Mice, Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel, Wizards of the Coast.
Oh, Mr. Carter.
Rivers of London from Chaosium.
Good.
Swords of the Serpentine, Pelgrane Press. Trophy RPG box set, the Gauntlet Gaming Community, Hedge Maze Press. And Vaesen, Mythic Britain and Ireland, Free League Publishing. If you have made it through this entire list, you need a cookie and a nap, because good Lord, I'm about ready to hang myself in here.
I'm with you. And look, it's the same thing every year. It's just that it's a long list of people that we want to kiss up to, is what it boils down to.
I don't think necessarily that's true in every case, because Vaesen,
but they're going to throw it. Well, because they have to throw in stuff like Vaesen Rivers of London because they got critical acclaim. So they're going to throw in a few good things with all the ringers. I mean, there's going to be some good product in there somewhere.
All right.
Yeah.
Here's my take on it. All right. You must have read off in all those categories 6, 7, 8 dozen different titles. A lot of them repeated. A lot of them didn't. All right. So we'll just say that there's 80 different products, maybe more, that made the list. Figure, what, 1 in 10 makes the list? So that means they probably got sent 750, 800 products. Now, 360.
They didn't. Nobody read all that shit. Nobody read all that stuff.
Listen, what they did was, oh, that's an interesting cover. I'll look at that. That's a boring cover.
Yep.
Oh, Wizards of the Coast added something. Oh,
I've heard about this guy. Yeah, I've heard about these guys. They're on the list. They look good.
Most of it. Now, I don't know for sure, so I'm going to talk out of my ass. But I'm going to say that a good portion of it was already being resold to local game stores who are probably going, what is this shit? I don't sell this game. What do I need? The second series once removed of whatever, because a lot of it goes right into the not going to be looked at pile. You can't read 3 game products a day, or 2 a day.
You can't read Radiant Citadel in 10 sittings.
Well, it depends on how much shit you have in you, but
ouch. Yeah, I guess that would.
I could tell you a story, Mike, but
it would work as a toilet bowl book. Yeah,
I wouldn't want to use it for the cleanup, but I wouldn't want those kind of cuts. Sorry.
So, since I have driven away the casual listeners that tirade of bullshit.
Somehow we gained listeners as you were doing it, so don't worry about it.
We're gonna enjoy a full Skeeter rant here. In my wonderful hosts have been kind enough to indulge this.
Let's wake everybody up. That's good. I like it.
So, because I am a supporter of small publishers, going back to the days when my good friend Mr. Zach Glazer and I had our own show on Wednesdays, we decided to spin that off into a small publisher seminar, give people some absolute random advice. Sometimes it was good, sometimes it was terrible. Most of the time it was examples of how we had screwed up and tried to help other people from screwing up and crushing their dreams. So we still do that. We do that seminar. We help people out. I've gotten the chance to see some of the people who came to the seminar and have now put out their own books. And it's fucking awesome. So we keep doing that. Keep giving advice. If anybody ever asks a question, we help them out. So I have quite a personal investment in seeing how small publishing companies do. I want to encourage almost all of them. 2 big ones that I do not want to encourage pop up occasionally. One of them is the new TSR headed by Justin Lanassa. I don't have too much fear of supporting them as small publishers because they don't produce anything. Yeah. They just scam people out of their money. What are they going to do? Sue me? I think there's a technical limit on how many lawsuits you can try to bandy about at once.
Well, as this episode is going on, apparently in the bankruptcy case, the trustee is looking to hire a law firm to look deeper into the bankruptcy of TSR. So I don't believe that TSR is going to be producing much of anything, but they did produce something. They did produce the Dungeon Crawl board game. I know it exists because I got an early copy from a friend, and then my straw buyer got a copy. I'll be getting it at ShireCon. So if anybody wants to see it in person, it does exist. There are supposedly 1,000 copies, but God knows where they are.
So
but I
how long
exists.
How long has the new TSR under Justin Lanassa been in business? Roughly?
Well, I'm going to hazard a guess. 2, maybe 3 years, maybe 3 years.
3 years?
Between 2 and 3 years.
About the same amount of time that SGP has been functioning. Roughly.
Okay.
So TSR under Justin Lanassa has produced a game, a title, correct?
No, 2 titles. No, actually,
2 titles.
No, wait. There's a little bit more than that. There is Goblins, which is either a standalone or a supplement to original D&D. They haven't decided which it is. There is My Name is Pizza is a book. There's this child game, Toys for Tater Tots or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know. Done. And you had Vince's module that Vince donated.
Okay.
So, and lots of like I don't know, like fake army bands, like Ranger.
So half a dozen books and some ephemera in 3 years with the vast resources of TSR. However, that he has no stock on hand and no assets. So
I could hold on a second.
Okay.
Yeah, go. Can you continue? I'm going to make sure.
I'll continue. So, I mean, with the vast resources of TSR, I would think a few more things would happen. Now, I'm a small publisher. I am literally a single person.
You're right.
And
zero value. 384,941.
Yep, there you go.
So
SGP put out 16 titles last year.
Jeez.
By myself. So, small publisher, scam artist, small publisher, scam artist, hard to tell. Full of shit, we can actively see. So, I like to spread that around. I don't support every small publisher. Another small publishing house that I will not be supporting is Apotheosis Studios.
Why is that familiar?
And the reason that Apotheosis Studios sounds so familiar is they are headed by a Mr. Jameson Stone and his wife, Satine Phoenix.
They were in North Texas this year.
Perhaps you've heard the names before.
I saw them in North Texas Midnight Auction. I think that was them.
There was an homage to an event at North Texas.
That wasn't
the event. Okay.
All right,
happened at GaryCon.
Okay.
And this is going to get wonderful right now. So Satine and Jameson decided at GaryCon they were going to get married, which is fine. Hey, gamers want to get married at a game convention? Totally fine. However, if you're going to do that and you're going to do it at Friday night at 8:00 in the Grand Geneva,
where the bar
center, in the center of the entire place.
All are welcome.
And you are going to commandeer the whole area. That I'm an author. I don't have the words to describe that shit show. It was, if you were one of the people who rely on look at me social aspects, then it was probably wonderful, and you probably enjoyed the shit out of it.
Skeeter,
if you're not that person,
Skeeter, I don't know one person yet that was there that enjoyed the hell out of it. Maybe I'm just out the wrong crowd. I don't know.
I'm just saying, I was in a game, running a game. I approached the center of the hotel with this in full swing, and that it was, I didn't know where the fuck I was. That was not GaryCon. And as much as GaryCon put the event on, and I believe Luke Gygax was the officiant, I understand why it all happened. I'm not blaming anybody for allowing it to happen, but it was too much. It was too much for two people who have not done shit for the industry to expect an entire convention to cater to their whims. Well, and I am happy to say that. You got to be fucking kidding me.
This is the woman who wanted you to kickstart her vacations across the world.
Satine Phoenix had a Kickstarter with our friend Stefan Picorni.
Yes.
To run D&D games all around the world.
Am I invited? That sounds fun.
On our dime. No, I think you get to watch.
I can't come. Oh, I can't actually come and do the games with them. Oh,
they just show all this stuff off. Okay.
All right. I don't like this idea.
Yeah, 3 Kickstarters that funded their trips around the world.
But Crystal, I think only the first one funded, correct? I don't think number 2 and 3 funded. I don't think so.
The reason that I am so bitter about this has nothing to do with their social media. Hey, look at me, get out of the way. We're more important than you because we're on streams that we're funding. And at this point, nobody gives a shit about that. Jameson is the head creative at Apotheosis Studios, who has put out such notable titles as The Red Opera, which is a decent book. When Mr. Zach Glazer and I had our own small, humble show, we interviewed Jameson and Satine, which quickly became, we interviewed Jameson because Satine couldn't be bothered. She had a previous engagement, which sounded like she figured out we were not important and decided to do something else.
Well, in her defense, never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, in her defense, we are not people who are going to increase her brand awareness.
Not at all. You're not going to.
So
you're not going to raise her needle.
Yes, as is pointed out by one of the smartest people I have ever met in the RPG industry.
It's not. It's only published by Apotheosis.
Apotheosis is the publisher of Red Opera.
All right.
So.
Well, no wonder it's good then. Okay, makes sense.
The reason this is an issue is Apotheosis Studios also had a Kickstarter for Sirens, Battle of the Bards.
Oh, Battle of the Bards.
Which on its Kickstarter opening page prominently features Ms. Phoenix on the cover as a bard with great big elf ears, which is her thing. So, okay, cool, whatever. That, I can't tell when it funded. I want to say the Kickstarter funded in the summer of 2021. Almost 3,000 backers, 2,965 backers pledged $299,164 to bring this project to life. A success.
Well, how's it look?
No, don't call it a success.
Hold on.
You got your copy.
I am waiting for the
So this is we're still in the glamour stages of this. This is all the smoke and mirror stages. So almost 3,000 people came up with almost $300,000 to bring this project to life. Estimated delivery for the pledge I made, which I have kept. Numerous people have asked for a refund. I'm going to get this thing. Okay. I'm 100% going to get this thing, unless I die first.
Well, that could be far west.
December.
Always a chance.
December of 2021.
Oh, so how did it look? So how did this look?
So obviously, I don't have the book.
Oh,
because I would not be bringing this up.
Oh boy.
The last update, as of June 16th, 2023, just over a month ago, is Satine apologizing for misjudging how long it would take to finish what I thought was 10% of Sirens.
Oh boy.
Jameson said it would take longer, and she didn't take his advice. And then goes into like a 2 or 3 or 10-page soliloquy about how she has learned and healed and become better and grown and all of this stuff. She does, however, offer to email groups playtest material for the beta playtest.
So it's not even done yet. It hasn't been written.
We're a year and a half overdue.
All right, but Skeeter, as annoying as it is, I've got 2 words to tell you. Far, bonus word, fucking west.
Oh yeah, no, I get it.
I've been married for nearly 12 years.
But hold on, Eric. There's a worse point that I'm slow dragging everybody through gravel and glass to get to. In addition to this being a year and a half late at this point, Jameson and Satine did not pay their freelancers.
What a surprise!
And it was a very public blow up. I don't remember if it was the beginning of this year or if it was last year. No, I think it was last year. So they got drugged through the mud. People came out of the woodwork saying, "You pieces of shit, you're taking advantage of everybody." And Jameson got thrown under the bus by Satine and Jameson in a PR nightmare clusterfuck.
You got to throw somebody. It might as well be your spouse. You know.
No, you throw the one who's not marketable.
Which is him.
Sure.
Right.
Jameson is not marketable other than the fact that he's the one who walks around every convention with blue hair and no shirt. That is his convention attire. And I mean, dude's ripped. If I look like him, I would never wear clothes again. Credit where it's due.
You could put some of the time in getting ripped to actually project managing, and maybe shit would get done. Mike, we're all doing this.
When I see a plethora of gym videos from both of them, how they're, getting their mind and body right for the synergy of whatever other marketing fucking double talk they want to throw out next. Why don't you show me one picture of you guys actually doing some work on things that have been bought and paid for? There are, in the Apotheosis Studios group working on Sirens, Battle of the Bards. I'm getting this. I have the website. Deborah Ann Wool is part of this, which I have a feeling she had no idea what she was getting into.
They had a lot of celebrities.
She probably got paid. All right? I don't think that didn't get paid.
There are 16 VIP guest writers.
Well, our buddy Alex Kamer's on there. Alex is on there somewhere. We have to ask him if he got paid. I don't think Alex got paid.
Well, no,
There are.
Alan is like publishers must pay freelancers first.
I don't. I don't think Alex got paid. I think I talked to him, and I'm going to put words in his mouth, but I believe Alex did not get paid yet. So
there are in the Sirens Battle of the Bards Satine's birthday epic live streams. There are
oh jeez.
There are 37 people involved there.
Jeez.
There are.
I think you're right, Crystal. Yeah, I talked
to the team.
Didn't get paid.
The command team is 11 people.
Oh, there's too many cooks. This broth is spoiled.
At the bottom of the page, freelancers. We'll put their picture on. There's 16 people there.
Oh, that's Ennie nominated then.
No.
The professional partners, there are 13 of those.
Okay. This is a vanity project that's just to get people's names up. This is bullshit.
So this is an epic project that was determined to be done in, I'm going to go off on a wild tangent and say about 9 months. The amount of cat herding it would take to get those 6,000 people involved in your project would take 5 years to get them all managed.
You've been a part of many Kickstarters, both on your own and with Frog Games. And you know this. The number one thing you do at Kickstarter is don't have too many things going on. Don't have shirts and minis and maps and caps and this and that, because the more shit you throw in your Kickstarter, the more shit that can go wrong. Correct?
Don't write a book about pirates and then have an actual pirate loot chest filled with pirate loot and then have to ship 2 of those to Australia.
Oh.
Don't do it. But
don't have 16 authors, because you're never going to herd those cats into a row if you have 16 authors. It's just not going to happen.
So, on top of all this, it comes out in some of the social media, the text and the tweets and the whatever else things, that Jameson and Satine are not running this train. Another individual stepped up because they are too busy looking at themselves in the mirror and looking pretty and working on themselves and really getting better and learning and growing and evolving. One of the freelancers has to take over this train wreck and even try to get it to work. And in a number of posts, that person gets thrown under the bus.
Yeah, I'm about to say that kicks
by the 2 heads of state.
Can we name, if we can't name it, but I know who you're talking about, and this person basically they tried to dump it all off on this person.
Yeah, I promised I would let the people involved tell their story, because this is not my story. Mm-hmm. This is my tale of caution. Don't fucking back these people.
So here, since I'm going to step up for Crystal at this point, and she says, you have no idea how hard Rick worked to wrangle things. So I'm just, for those that are listening and not watching the cast, I put up most of the chat that comes up. Sometimes the chat is even more relevant than, so filling in some blanks just in case.
And in case anybody who's in your audience doesn't know who Crystal Mazer is, she is one of the best freelance writers I have been around. She has been a part of our small publisher seminar a number of times, and Zach and I have just wanted to quit once she starts answering a question, because like totally outclass us.
She's actually a real professional. Yeah, she's a real professional. I understand.
She is a professional. She does her job. She knows how to help people. It's
can I don't know the answer to this, and I don't know if you do, Skeeter. I know at one point they said, well, you know, if because of everything that happened last year, they were offering refunds. Are they giving refunds? As people actually got refunded?
People are asking for them.
Okay,
sure.
see, but
I don't know if anybody's getting it. I will wait until my dying day. This book will appear at my house, and I will probably wipe my ass with it.
You and me with Far West. Holy shit!
And I will videotape that.
I don't want to see that video.
It will go up on my OnlyFans.
No.
As
OnlyFans. Okay, well, I'm in.
Horrible things that Skeeter Green would do. Now, there was a time, and like I said, when Mr. Zach Glazer and I interviewed Jameson, very cordial, nice guy, went through the interview, full hour interview with them. Zach and he talked about the weights of paper in their books. Red Opera is a really gorgeous looking book. I mean, it is very pretty. If you are interested in 5th edition, I would certainly suggest at least looking through it. Try to find it from a secondary seller. Don't give Apotheosis a dime of your money. I just got a very interesting message.
Lawsuit by Satine and Jameson.
Yeah, fuck them. What are they gonna do? So another part of this is Satine is formerly a community manager or whatever
Wizards
of the Coast. Yeah. So it just speaks to the culture of look at me, look at me, look at me. Let's promote the sizzle and not the steak of products. And I'm not going to universally shit on Wizards of the Coast. We all have some friends who work there.
Eric and I wouldn't have a show if we couldn't shit on them every other week.
I do not particularly have much interest in Wizards of the Coast products. However, if they right the ship and produce something that's quality, I'll give them their applause and I'll give them their due. But that's the thing. You are only as good as what you produce.
Right.
And that needs to be a universal thing that people who are not in the industry realize. When you find some of these books that look like, oh my God, that is awful. My 5-year-old can speak better than that, and their writing skills are better. That puts a bad image on the freelance authors that are knocking this stuff dead day in and day out. You get those Ennies with 16 or 42 different authors on it. Like Mike said, I guarantee you some of those people did jack shit. And the freelance authors like Crystal Mazer, who get bumped because Wizards of the Coast needs to get some track on Journeys to the Radiant Citadel, which sounds like a porn title. That is absolutely bullshit in this industry. And I will say that, and I don't give a fuck who comes for me about that.
It's on Showtime late at night.
Tales of the Radiant Citadel.
Oh, Michael!
So, I'm working it, baby. I'm working it right now.
The reason I know everybody in the chat thinks Jesus Christ, Skeeter's got off his gourd and has utterly no point. I bring you to Kickstarter right now. Upcoming project, Oath of the Paladin, Apotheosis Studios.
Wait, what?
What?
Whoa.
There is a Kickstarter preview page for Oath of the Paladin from Apotheosis Studios, a Rune Chronicles 5e tabletop role-playing campaign and setting. Coming soon. And it currently has 437 followers. of which I am one, because I am going to eyeball the shit out of that.
Well, I am one now too.
So, Jameson, while Satine is the bard in the family, Jameson has always been the warlock, paladin type, And honestly, I think the dude could be pretty okay. The stories I heard about how he treated freelancers makes me want to slap him. However, I would never do that because at this point I'm an old man. I am 53 years old. I am not getting into a fist fight with some dude who legitimately looks like a barbarian from the movies. Dude is going to manhandle me until my MMA training kicks in. And
there you go.
Anyway, that is not a threat. My legal representation is in the chat. I hope still. I do. It is all said in
jest. It's all said in jest.
Not in jest. Satire. So, it's satire.
So Peter, if this is really going to happen, this screams Ponzi scheme, right? Because they've obviously spent all the money for Battle of the Bards. That money's gone. They didn't stick that in a cubby hole somewhere. So they realize if they have any future in this industry, we've got to come out with something at some point. Is this going to be the one that they will need this to finance the one that came before?
So what my thought is here is because Satine and Jameson may not be well known to the tavern backers, this is an exact lockstep replica of Ken Whitman.
Well, no, it's not just Ken Whitman. This is the Wandering Wizard, Mike Neistel. Heck, you can go back to Joshua Frost pulling this shit with Quantum. Yeah. I mean,
so this is a return to the days of Kickstarter where somebody would scam a group and then they would do another Kickstarter to get funds to cover that. And I'll even throw one out. This is exactly the playbook from Center Stage Miniatures.
There you go.
Except Peter, Center Stage actually came out with something at some point. I don't know if we're ever going to see anything here. There's nothing.
No.
I mean, I saw molds. There was actually molds sculpted for Center Stage. I don't see anything here. There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's no there. There's no.
So what happened? What happened with Center Stage Miniatures? The molds were created. He blew the money. The molds and the miniatures that were promised in several Kickstarters from Center Stage Miniatures were eventually acquired by Pacesetter Games, who went out of their way, out of pocket, to purchase those, made the miniatures that were, or at least most of them, that were promised in those Kickstarters, and then distributed them to the people who were supposed to get it. So that's how you run business. You don't fuck a bunch of people over and then throw out another Kickstarter
and throw it
2 years later and do it again.
Then I think that we three need to buy the rights for Battle of the Bards, and we'll come out with Battle of the Bards.
No. I fucking refuse to. But here.
We'll write it while we're drunk one night.
I am a Kickstarter super backer, but I am not a I'm not a Kickstarter creator. Now, I was under the impression after the Ken Whitman era. Sorry, Whitman, Ken, I don't want to misname you now that you consider yourself a wit. But I thought after the Whitman era of kickstarting Ponzi schemes that you had to complete your last Kickstarter and put it in the hands of the dumb folks that backed you before
you do not
another group. But I understand now that if you are a proven entity, that is no longer the case. In other words, if you're Joe Schmo, you haven't done it, you don't have your minimum 4 or 5 Kickstarters in, you can't stack them. But once you've got your number in, Kickstarters want your money, folks.
Eric, as long as you've proven you can make $250,000, sure. We made our money. Yeah, go ahead and do that again. We don't care if you fulfill it or not. We got our 10%. Well, so yeah, go ahead.
Kickstarter has made some changes, but they do still have their boilerplate at the bottom. A pledge is not a promise of receiving product. So they can legally wash their hands of it. The only thing keeping people from getting raked over the coals by these people pulling this bullshit is when people like us point it out. I mean, Eric has been banging the drum on Far West for seems like my entire life.
A decade.
Yeah. And
Holy shit.
you hear, oh yeah, it's gonna show up. Sometimes things happen and people get screwed up. Not my last Kickstarter, but the previous 2 Kickstarters fucking wrecked me. I was going to quit RPGs because they went so sideways, and all I had to do was keep plugging away, one foot in front of the other. And I mean, just money. I got to get this shit out to people. And it was partially my fault, partially my printer's fault, partially other people's fault, but ultimately it's my responsibility.
So with you. Yeah, that's the whole. That's the
Sirens, Battle of the Bards. The buck needs to stop on Jameson and Satine's desk, and they need to fucking do this and not send out a beta test a year and a half after the fact so the fans can do their editing for them.
Oh, they're editing and they're playtesting. By the way,
yeah, Joe, that's the playtesting. Just
your pencil dice. I'm going to make a quick statement on that one. I had a source on that. Ken was making pencil dice, but the thing is, his machine's a hand cranked pencil dice embosser, and Ken said it was too much work. So if you're waiting on pencil dice, you haven't gotten any, you're not getting any.
Oh. So because this is raising my heart rate and making me super irritated.
Hold on a second.
I'm going to go back to the Sirens Battle of the Bards Kickstarter just to show the pledges.
Oh, the levels? Oh, that's great. Yeah.
At the top pledge level, at $3,000, you get your custom side quest in the book. So you get to write a story and get it in the book. 4 people pledged for that.
So I can pay to get published. Didn't we call it something differently like 30 years ago? Like submit a poem and spend $50 to get your name. I was a poet, right? I'm a published poet. I'm a published RPG creator because I paid $3,000.
That used to be when I was in my early 20s and I was in bands. Pay to play. We had to do it all the time. That was the way bands got in. You got to buy some tickets to the bar you were going to play in, and then you had to sell them.
Yep.
That's how we did it. So
I was one of the ones going on those tickets. So yes, not yours.
Up from this, the next pledge level at $1,500.
A bargain.
Is a 6-hour in-person game with Satine and Jameson.
But you got to fly out there.
Wait to the 6 hours. You get to go to Boulder, Colorado, though.
No, you got to fucking hear this. This is wonderful.
If you bring your wife, can our topless blue-haired guy try to seduce your wife?
Hold on.
I'm not even going to suggest what kind of grooming this is, but so this is the verbiage of the pledge. On July 31st, and this is 2021.
Oh, this already happened then. Wow.
You remember what was going on July 31st of 2021?
Oh, shit.
A worldwide fucking pandemic?
Well, yeah, but the pandemic wasn't the pandemic then.
Come On July 31st, come join Satine Phoenix and Jameson Stone in their home in Boulder, Colorado for a totally unique and custom designed 6-hour in-person game of Dungeons and Dragons. Experience Salvada where it was created in the couple's epic game room, which includes 7.1 surround sound for our epic soundtrack.
And mirrors on the ceiling.
You got to listen to them sing too? Oh,
hold on. Travel and housing not included. However, Satine and Jameson will be serving lunch, dinner, and snacks.
Oh, snacks.
For those unable to attend in person, you can still play in our game virtually.
And not,
So is it like when I say snacks, like, okay, who wants a Cheeto bag? And they like pass it around.
We came back. We got you stuff from Dollar Tree.
We got you some Cheetos there. We got you some snacks.
We made sure we brought it up before it became $1.25. This has been around for a while. It's $1.
3 people picked that pledge.
Oh, my God. Those poor things.
I don't know if we've ever heard from them since.
No, they're in the basement still.
There's another $1,500 pledge. Your custom character in the book. 9 people picked that.
Oh, no.
Oh, it was a safer pledge if you have money to waste.
$1,116 pledge. Nearly everything we have to offer and fully upgraded for the true contour who settles for nothing less than the best. Okay. I don't think that's the right word. I think it was supposed to be connoisseur, but editing is obviously not their strong point.
So you're saying this was TSR editing in place. I got you.
No, I think this was probably Jameson and Satine setting this up, they just can't do it because they're too busy.
Well, Grammarly makes all the corrections you need. If Grammarly says it's okay, it's okay.
So this was the Kickstarter that failed and is failing, and they still say is going to happen.
Can I still sign on? Because this sounds awesome.
Yeah, I want to be able to do a late pledge. Can I like?
I'm gonna late pledge.
Oh, boys, my dear boys, there is a pre-order here link on there. So yes, one? You can.
Paladin?
For Sirens Battle at the Bar.
I can throw good money after bad.
Yeah, so I'm clicking on this.
It's always good to let's do something that hasn't been done in 2 years. Let's go ahead and play.
When you click on pre-orders, when it goes and it asks you for your email address, a little pop-up balloon does say pre-orders have been disabled.
Oh man! Wait a second. What about pre-orders for Oath of the Paladin though? I'm all in.
Well, that one hasn't launched yet.
Well, shoot. Can I just send them a check for $1,500 right now? And then
I'm pretty sure.
I'm going to put $1,500 of Monopoly money in an envelope and say, "Oh, I want in."
I am okay. So, after Mr. Zach Glazer and myself have interviewed Jameson Stone, had a nice conversation. Didn't get to talk to Satine more than like 3 minutes because I don't ooze the cool factor.
No, she's busy.
I was at the Independent Publishers Union booth at Gamehole Con 2 years ago.
Okay, I was there too. I know what you're going to say. Go ahead.
Satine and Jameson and Apotheosis Studios had a booth down the row from us. We were in demo row where, some of the smaller publishers get a shot.
And they were all the way at the front though. They had the front booth, I remember correctly.
No, we had the booth right by the door.
Right.
They were right next to the DM lounge area. Really kind of plush spot, a lot of foot traffic. People couldn't see him. Jameson would power walk back and forth, doing a lot of stuff. Got that bare wax chest sticking out there. He looked like a dolphin with legs. The dude is smooth and shiny. I have never seen a person glisten like that. I don't know what is going on. but it's interesting.
Hot.
Every time I waved and said, "Hey," no acknowledgement whatsoever, which I don't blame him. I mean, I know I am me. And if you have, chiseled God dolphin walking down the hallway, you don't want to be seen with, tattooed hairy troll behind a booth actually working, that's just, the rabble. I get it. I know who I am. That's why I get to do stuff like this, because I don't give two fucks. But I don't know. They are trying desperately to get back to the top of the mountain where they can influence people and be thought of as just the next coming of RPGs. And I will do every damn thing I can to make sure people don't.
You're choosing your words wisely, but sorry.
That has literally never been said to me before. When I see my stats, it has wisdom like 8 on a good day, 7, 6, maybe.
Yeah. Yes, Ty. The very bad virtual background will be back when I'm
he's I'm sorry.
It'll be back on Friday when I'm on with Glenn.
This is the Poconos. He can't do it right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You get to see the door behind me, the the screen door and the door over here. Gotta get some air in here.
And there are numerous side issues with those two, especially at Gary Con. I was running a celebrity game, and the celebrities that were supposed to be in my game were loosely attached to the whole wedding thing, so they bailed on my game. I was very fortunate in my celebrity game at Gary Con that Pat Kilbane came to the game, played his heart out, wonderful player. I enjoyed the shit out of it. He was funny as hell. And then this year at Gary Con, I was zoning out in a hallway, and Pat was way down the hallway, and he's like, "Skeeter!" We talked for like a half an hour. Really sweet guy, nice, down to earth, good person. They are not that caliber of person. And their hangers-on are not that caliber of gamer or people. And I mean, if it has not been made adequately clear, they can lick my ass. I mean, I cannot fucking stand those two more than anything. And they were pleasant.
Like Skeeter.
They were pleasant for a while. And then they decided to screw over my hobby, and I'm not going to stand for it.
Well, let me tell you something. When my very limited interactions with Satine, I got a really good vibe off of her back in the day, because I thought, well, this is somebody who's made something out of their life from where they started, and they're because they like games and they're doing games, and this person really, really seems to like gaming. I mean, her show she used to have where she'd talk about gaming, she seemed like she was very enthusiastic about gaming. And then it's just like, did something happen along the way? The trip was going here, and then it just took a left turn. And then
when she started having that aura of psychophants following her around at conventions.
That was it, yeah.
So
because we used to
normally couldn't get within 5 feet because you were going to get not cock blocked. You were just literally getting body blocked.
We heard her. I mean, we talked to her at Gamehole Con. And I mean, she's just hey, it's pretty cool. You're doing, when she was like, doing her thing. And then just something happened, and it went, whir, and then it's like Entourage and Bodyguards, and
I have some thoughts on why that changed, because I believe the massive swerve in her attitude happened about the same time that she made the power couple happen.
Oh boy.
So I don't know who is to blame, if it is a catalyst between the two of them, if it's more on one person than the other. That was what I was thinking, Crystal.
Sometimes two people are okay by themselves, and you've had this happen before. And then when they get together, this really bad synergy happens, and then bad things start happening. Like person A is fine, person B is fine. When they get together, person AB is not fine. And
which is exactly the opposite between me and my wife. I mean, Devilette Northwest Jen has saved lives by calming me the fuck down. So
you think so? Yeah,
I believe that is true.
Yes. My Devilette has a calming touch.
Yes, we give all praise to Satan.
You almost killed somebody at Evernorth, Texas. Maybe not this one.
Not this last one.
No, most of the older ones, you've almost killed somebody at every one, and she talked you down off the ledge. So.
I mean, shit. I thought for a minute there, I thought Gary Oliver was going to take a shot at the champ. I thought we were going to fight in that hallway, and then he figured out he had been drinking all day, and I had been drinking Monster Energy drink all day.
Oh, yeah, that's not a good combo. That's a terrible combo.
Yeah, Gary. Whatever.
I talked him down in 2022. I know what to do though. I just kick you in the knee and run. I mean, I couldn't get very far, but I'm hoping I hit the knee at the right spot, and that's it.
Yeah, there's definitely a sweet spot, and if you don't,
if I don't
make me mad.
I would just that's it. I'm over. It's over. I'm done.
Hey, you know what I did to you, and I love you, buddy. Literally.
I just woke up. Well, I know you love me because what happened was that was love. That was pure love.
Yes.
That was a love that I've rarely felt in my life, So
you felt it right on your chest, didn't you?
Maybe in junior high, when I was getting
maybe on your hip.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my public service announcement. I appreciate you guys letting me come on and spew my nonsense.
Well, whenever you want to beat on worthless people, we're always here because we don't like worthless people either. So
and folks, listen, we knew about the Ennies. We didn't know where this was going to go afterwards.
No.
So Mike and I are just as entertained and slightly violated as the rest of you are.
I enjoy it. I you know what? If nothing else, now I need to watch for Oath of the Paladin. I didn't know Oath of the Paladin was a thing. I'm all over Oath of the Paladin now. Eric and I are penciling in Oath of the Paladin for the next 5 shows, probably. That's going to be our new go-to.
Everybody should make sure you get the notification so they got 1,000 followers, and then when the Kickstarter launches, they only get 17.
This is gonna win 3 or 4 this week in Gaming Stupids. I can tell you right now, it's gonna win.
I just want to let Mr. Tiebeard know. Always expect that to be on the table when I do an interview.
It's never not on
always.
The table. Never not on the table.
Yeah, no, things like this, probably in a much more diplomatic and refined way, need to be brought up. Companies like New TSR cannot get away with that shit. Companies like Apotheosis Studios cannot be doing this shit.
Well, let me tell you something. So one of the things, this is not. This is just. I'm just going to tell it. So, and Eric, don't say anything. This is just me ranting. But Eric, I know he gets a lot of flack for shows where we talk about bad Kickstarters. And there's always some guy whining in the comments. Why are you talking about this Kickstarter? This happened 2 years ago. What's wrong with you? You can't get over this, that. The reason, and Eric might have his own reasons, but I look at it this way. Mm-hmm. In this age of social media, we have the ability to shine the light on people like this. Years ago, this would never happen because you didn't have a network of people that could all come together. And these scam artists, they benefited by this because person in California didn't talk to person in New Mexico, didn't talk to person in Pennsylvania. Now with stuff like Eric's show and Eric's platform, we can talk about these really bad Kickstarters, these bad individuals. And yes, we're going to keep beating on people like Ken Whitman and the various idiots in the hobby, because every day there's somebody that comes in the hobby that doesn't know who they are. And when you think, well, I know who Ken Whitman is, you would believe people that we do a show, Eric and I are like, who's Ken Whitman? They'll say that in the comments. Who's Ken Whitman? They don't know. That's why you have to keep beating on this stuff. You can't let them weasel back into the hobby. And if nothing else, Eric does a public service when he talks about these bad Kickstarters, these people who are basically criminals. They're scam artists. They're grifters, right? And so and this is just my public service announcement. This isn't me kissing Eric's ass or anything, but I think it's a good thing to do. And I always annoys me when that one or two person comes and they go, "Why are you still talking about this guy? This happened 5 years ago. Nobody cares."
Aaron, listen, whoever I'm talking about, they're within their social circles.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand, especially when it's Ken Whitman. Ken has a long reach. It goes back to the days when he was involved at the original TSR. He was involved in Gen Con. Most of the old crew want nothing to do with him, but there are a few that he has charmed over the years, which is fine, whatever. But I do know for a fact that Ken is always looking to get back into the world of gaming and the world of Kickstarters or crowdfunding.
Just within the last year, he wanted to come on Eric and I's show. He asked to come on the show. He's still out there.
He emailed me his cell phone number twice. You could ask me anything. It's like, you're not going to answer anything. I can ask whatever questions I want. It's all about legitimizing Ken Whitman. Ken Whitman, whatever you want to call him. I'm not going to ever legitimize Ken.
He basically told us, well, these are all lies about me. And I want to get on your show so I can set it straight. See, we're not going to allow you on the show because we're not going to allow you on the show for 2 hours to lie, just to flat out lie. There's no point just to lie about stuff when we know what really happened. But the point is, that's why we still talk about these people, is because the memories are short, man, and people are getting into the hobby every day.
There's a lot of new people. There's a lot of people coming into the hobby and they don't know. They haven't been around as long as Eric or Mike or me. They don't know. They haven't gotten screwed over a decade ago. And now this fucking herpes shows up again and or does something exactly the same as somebody else.
We still run into people. I run into people all the time that say, "Who's Gary?" They don't know who Gary Gygax is. If they don't know who Gary Gygax is, they sure as hell don't know who some of these scam artists on Kickstarter are.
Right.
If they don't know who the father of D&D is, because
and I have to say, at a number of conventions, I have been granted special guest or industry insider status, and it is very appreciated. It is wonderful. I know full well that some of the comments I make that a little difficult for convention runners to swallow. So if that needs to be revoked,
longer special guests,
right?
Well, I'm sorry. Yeah. I was taking some notes there. I didn't.
So honestly, do you think I give one shit or would change my attitude whatsoever at North Texas? You're lucky I even buy a badge anymore. I'm just gonna show up. And say, what are you gonna do? You're gonna not let Jen come?
Wait,
are you gonna pull that one?
Only Jen allowed. Okay. No Skeeter 2024. All right, okay. I'm sorry. You were talking. I missed what you were saying.
You got to do what Ken Whitman did at one convention. He just drew his own badge and put it in the badge holder and walked in.
I forgot about that. Oh, God,
no shit. The first year I went to Crit Hit in Arizona, I somehow or the second year, one of the years I went to Crit Hit, I screwed up and didn't get a badge. So they didn't have a badge for me, and they printed it out as Rando Calrissian, and I still have that badge, and I treasure that because they were fast on their feet. That was freaking hilarious, and I loved it. Jim and Crystal Miller put on a great show in Arizona.
Man,
I'm gonna have a crayon blue mohawk streak and no shirt, and I'm going to jail.
At Gary Con, Zach Glazer had Wolfgang Bar's badge. I don't know how we got it, but it was in our bag.
I know how we got it.
I know exactly how we got it.
Zach was Wolfgang Bar for a weekend. So people would just give him a second look like, What?
The best thing about Zach at Gamehole is like all the Frog God games are listed under his name, or they used to be.
Yep.
So Gamehole has a GM's reward. So there's a big whiteboard. If you run X amount of games, you can get some board games or some prizes or stuff like that. Your name's on there and all that stuff. I used to go all the time and tell them, yeah, I'm picking this up for Zach, and then I would take the stuff.
Well, good. Zach didn't do any of the game running. I know you did.
I actually, talking to him today, I offered him at GaryCon, I am going to be running the Dread from Geneva Lake and the Dread from Geneva Lake Part 2. And I offered Zach a spot so he could actually play a game at a convention. Nice. He could just come and sit down. He doesn't have to sign in for it. Nothing. So
he'll ruin your game. You better be a tough deal. He'll ruin your game if you don't.
I ran a Call of Cthulhu game at Crit Hit, and Zach was in it with a bunch of his friends from Arizona, and it was one of the best games that I have participated in. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, we need to get Zach to play more.
Robin, I could not shave all the hairs off. That would take me like a year and a half.
Oh no.
Like Sasquatch. That's why I live in the Pacific Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
If I was taller, I would be Bigfoot.
I'm shaving right now as we're talking.
I'm going to. So anything you guys want to talk about?
Sure. Yeah, I got some stuff.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah, no, there's lots of things to talk about. Yeah, of course.
Oh man, I'm going to Montana to go to a hot spring. It's going to be 96 degrees. I'm going to a hot spring.
Okay, look, you don't need to go to Montana. Just come to Texas, walk outside, and step into a swimming pool. You'll be in a 100-degree swimming pool. So
no,
you don't have to worry about it.
That sounds awful.
It was 107 degrees today. Yesterday it was 109. So just let it's a balmy July summer here in good old Texas this year. So
last weekend when I was supposed to be in Arizona for Crit Hit this year, it was 122.
God, but that's why I'm in a hotel room right now and I jacked this bitch down to 68 degrees, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, well,
because our house is 80 degrees because all the construction on our house, we can't get it cool because the garage door is open all day. So it's 82 degrees in there.
Well, that's what I do at North Texas. That's why everybody complains about it being cold. Is I run around to the rooms and turn them all down. Now that I know
you do that, yeah, I'm gonna have people watching out for you. We're gonna have a Skeeter bounty. You see Skeeter messing with the thermostat.
What I don't get is if people are bitching that the rooms are too cold, turn the fucking temperature up.
Who cares? It's summer in Texas. That's why it's look, you'd rather have that than the alternative. If the air conditioner didn't work, you sure wouldn't like that. So I don't care if it's working too good. It's working too good. The air conditioner's too cold. It's too cold here.
If you want your game room to be 85 and have the humidity of sweaty butt in there, please don't come to the convention. I do not want to share that with you. That is an experience I do not want.
Now, I will say North Texas this year, the weather was pretty mild considering.
Yeah.
It was a nice June in North Texas here. That's why, by the way, we don't have the convention in July. That's why we don't. Yeah. Because it would be a mess. But no, it was a very nice June convention. Yes, the reason it's cold in hotels is because they expect it's going to be hot in June, and they turn down the thermostats. And usually with a lot of people in a room, it does get warmer. This year, it wasn't as hot as it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
So it was a little cool there. It was chilly in a few spots, but it beats the alternative, kids. It really does. Like you said, you don't want to be around a bunch of big sweaty guys at a convention. It's not pretty. Not at all. It's very
if you want the Gen Con full crowd experience in a small conference room, that is a different convention.
I'm having flashbacks to being in the Gen crowd, the Gen Con cattle call in the morning. Oh, that's bad. How does somebody stink that early in the morning? I don't know, but I found them. The 2009, that one year I was, last time I found them.
Casey Christopherson of Frog God Games described the smell of downtown Indy as dead hooker in a dumpster. And every time I've gone there, it has smelled exactly like that. I mean, we were up at like 6 a.m. There weren't even people, but this pervasive stench was god awful.
It's garbage and gamer flop sweat and unwashed shoes, and
actually, you know what the smell was? The Colts.
I'm just happy if it's not a Cowboys joke. Then
Dude, Cowboys are their own joke.
I know.
I don't even have to say anything.
I pray for Jerry Jones's death every day, and every day I wake up disappointed. So,
hey man, you guys gonna put a complete season together this year?
He can't live to be 100. He can't live to be 100, can he? He's gotta die sometime. He's 80. He's 80 years old. Come on.
Oh,
let him go. Let it go, Jerry. Let go of life.
I do want to send a special thanks out to people who have messaged me while we've been having this conversation. I do appreciate them. I am interested in the documents, and without saying who's who, I just want to say, got your back. What's somebody going to do to me?
Oh, By the way, so Alan Hammock joined our show tonight. The great Alan Hammock. We just had an Alan Hammock auction, North Texas RPG Con auction page, where we auctioned off some kick-ass Alan Hammock memorabilia. But I just like to thank. So Alan, we were talking earlier about the Ennie Awards. We have our own award in North Texas called Three Castles Award, which we award to the best in OSR gaming. I'm just going to thank Alan right here. Alan's been a judge many, many years for that. And Alan can attest to the high quality of the nominees and the fact that these guys the guys who judge for North Texas RPG Con, they actually read all the nominees. There is no way on God's green earth that any people read those. I'm sorry, they just don't. It's too much. It's like Eric said, they pick it. Oh, I like this cover. I like this, whatever. They can't read that many nominees. But the Three Castles Award guys, it's usually Jeff Grubb, Alan Hammock, Steve Winter are always in that mix. They always,
guys who might have some knowledge about RPGs.
A little bit. But they have the judges sheet. They also have a comment page. And anybody who has a item is submitted, they're allowed to see their comments with the judge's name taken off. They issue some very insightful comments on those. I mean, I'm always, like I said, Jeff, Alan, and Steve have some of the best comments where they really look at these items, read them, and you can tell they've done their due diligence. And that's the kind of stuff we need for award ceremony. I like the more personal awards like that, where you can tell that people have actually done their work, and the judges have actually done the work of reading the items and actually judging the items. So thank you, Alan, for that.
And this year's Three Castle winner was Dr. Greg Gillespie, who was in the chat. I don't know if he still is.
Yeah, he pops in every once in a while. Pops in to give us a hard time. By the way, we'll Skeeter, we're going to work on this, but we're going to have to get you down to Long Con one of these days. Last year we got Bill Barsh to come. This year, Bill Barsh and Greg Gillespie from Canada are coming to Long Con in Longview. We've got Zach to come before.
Since I had to ditch my plane flight to Arizona, I have a credit for a flight since I did not get my money back.
What am I hearing?
So there might be a possibility in November of me flying to Tejas.
Well, it's obviously Matt and Eddie are running it. It's North Texas with half the people is what it's like.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly down there. I'm going to get great big blacked out mirrored sunglasses, and I am going to require being picked up from the airport, driven to the hotel, hand delivered to my room, and then driven back.
Gary will do that. So Gary's already doing that for Bill and Greg. So he can pick you up too. Look, he just said it. If you do that, I'll get you from the airport.
Dude,
I told
you guys both know I hate people who pull that shit. I mean, I know some people have to, but I will get to the airport. I will get my own goddamn car because I want to go out in the boonies where like the devil's rejects and people get buried in holes in the desert. I want to see that kind of shit.
And while you're doing that, you can get good barbecue while you're watching.
I have to go to a Buc-ee's. I've never been.
Yeah, get Buc-ee's too. Yeah.
I got to do that.
Brown M&Ms in the hotel room.
Last time at North Texas was the first time I ever got to go to a Waffle House. They just don't have them. So check this out. First thing in the morning, I'm going to a Waffle House with, I think it was Ian and Rocky and Dr. Dennis Sester.
Of course.
Wow.
Well, Dennis is a Texan now. I mean, come on, man.
I mean, it was nuts, but I can 100% see how some shit starts in a Waffle House, though.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
you watch the Waffle House videos, now you know why those happen. The Waffle House videos.
I was starting to get antsy. I was going to let Ian punch me right in the face just to do it. And Dennis,
Waffle House
drop an elbow or something.
If you want to see a fist fight, Waffle House at 3 a.m., that's the boom. You're there.
Yeah.
And you will see a fist fight. It could be between customers. It could be a customer and the people working there. It could be between the people working there. It's any combination. You just never know what's going to happen.
The absolute sweetheart lady who was cooking pancakes had this spatula that I swear to God she could have killed me if she just smacked like that with it. And I would have been, I deserve it. I was so polite to those people. So polite. Because I knew I talk some shit, I'm getting smacked. It's a Waffle House.
You know how many drunk people they've had to deal with every night that week that smart off to them? They don't handle it very well after about, when they're on their fifth night or their 7-day shift, they don't handle it very well. Yes.
No, I totally get that. I've never understood the people who talk shit to people who serve you food.
Oh, God.
That's ridiculous. Why would you do that? You are not smart. You have never had somebody fuck with you.
But both my daughters have both been servers, and you know what? When you tip well and you're nice to them, you get extra shit, man. And my wife and I, we go to restaurants where they kiss our ass now because we've been going there for years, and we tip awesome. And they see us coming 100%. In. Oh, Mike, it's Mike and Christy. And they run over there and give us all kinds of shit. That's what you get when you're not a dickhead. When you go to a restaurant, you tip your waiter and waitress.
Yeah. If you go somewhere and somebody is doing something for you, if they are serving you food or if they are in some kind of hospitality, you treat those people nice.
Oh, yes.
They're not your fucking mom. You don't. Or treat your mom nice.
And look, like I said, I had two daughters do that. You know what happens when you don't want to know what happens to your food when you're a dickhead. Hey, you don't want to know.
What happens to your hotel room, Mike? You end up with a fucking pumpkin in there, don't you?
Look, I spray everything down when I come in. I wipe. Look, I have my gel right here that I wipe on everything. No, I know what happens in hotel rooms because look, right now I only have my underwear on. I know what happens in chairs and beds and whatever. I mean, I'll prove it right now. I'll prove what I got on right now.
No.
I'm just saying, I know how these things work. No, I clean my hotel room when I get to my hotel room. Although one time we checked into a really ritzy hotel in San Antonio years ago, and we walked in the bathroom, and the soap had been used, the toilet was unflushed, and there was a wet towel in the bottom. And so I wasn't digging that. I went down and told them, we got a free room for the weekend. It was awesome. Now I want to do that every time. My wife won't let me do it. I'm saying, come on, let me just use the toilet. I'll use the soap, and we'll throw a towel down there. It's free room. And she's like, no, we can't do that. We're not going to do that. Women. I mean, what can you? Women.
That'd be wrong.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be funny as hell.
But I started doing that every hotel you go to.
Yeah. I will think about it every time I show up in a hotel room now.
It was like no questions asked. The guy said, "Okay, yeah, well, we're going to put you in room, whatever, and we're going to comp for the weekend." I was like, "Whoa, it's that easy? Why didn't I know this when I was a college student? My God!" I mean, oh, geez.
Because of everybody in the chat being very active now about me going to LongCon, I will look into it. I will look into it more.
Boy, Gary and I are the best ambassadors this convention ever had, and you know what? They don't treat us right.
You guys are the best bastards that convention has.
Thank you. Well, I meant ambassador, but yes.
Yeah, nope.
Bastard.
Nope, I got you.
You bastards, yeah.
Yeah, we need to get a little. I think I was a special guest a couple years ago, but that got me nothing. Kind of like when you're a special guest at North Texas, Skeeter. I mean, it gets you nothing. So I think it got me nothing too. So
ShireCon, I get a shirt.
You get a shirt?
I get a shirt.
What the hell? Well, that's actually Skeeter got a shirt. You get a shirt, right, Skeeter? We get a shirt.
I'm getting a shirt this year because Mr. Tom Wilson is the newest member of the Independent Publishers Union.
By the way, I had a discussion. So let me let you in on some secret news here. Ooh. So North Texas is one of the sponsors of ShireCon this year, and I'm getting a free shirt too. But we're sponsoring ShireCon. We're also going to send them a box full of goodies for silent auctions and raffle. And Tom and I had top secret discussions about our next BX adventure for 2024. And as you may know, B 4.5 sold out this year, completely sold out, 200 copies, which was
I got one right there.
Well, good. I'm glad you got one because there ain't no more. The first printing's gone, baby. So I pitched my idea. Tom loved my idea and said he's going to start working on it too. And he gave me a deadline of end of August to have my outline written because Tom knows I need deadlines. I'm terrible.
So let me guess. You're giving Tom an idea and he's doing the work.
No,
he's a workhorse.
I'm not going to do that because he is a workhorse. But I had the idea because I said I want to do. I've my favorite module of all time is D1 and Search the Unknown. So I said I have an idea for a lower level that's below the lowest level. I pitched my idea. He loved it. He said I'm on it. So let's do it. And so
that is 100% bad Mike going for the lowest.
We're going to try to get it done but you know how this goes. I'm going to write a little bit. Tom's going to write most of it. Tom will do all the layout. Tom will make it look good and it'll come out, So that's the way, because that's what Tom Wilson does. He just makes something awesome because
he's an animal.
It's insane. I don't know how. I asked him when do you slow down? He does all this and then he works a job, then he's a volunteer fireman. I'm like,
yeah.
Any one of those is enough for me. I mean, why? Whoa, hold on. You're doing all these. So yeah, ShireCon sounds awesome. I am going to make it a point to get there one of these days. Hopefully, my wife retires next year. Maybe we'll head up there. We've talked about it. I asked Tom about it. I said I'd like to drive, but I know it's a long drive. He goes, "Oh no, you can drive up here." He gave me the route to take. He said it's a 3-day drive. You'll love it. It's be great. I'm like, oh, okay, well. When I retire, I'll have plenty of time. We'll drive up there.
When I retire, I'm going to drive from Washington to North Texas to convention.
Well, okay, let me tell you. A few years ago, my son got stationed Everett on the Navy. My wife and he drove up there from Texas. It was about a 3-day, 4-day drive. 3 days.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a big deal driving down there. It's the 3 days after the convention that are going to be brutal.
You're beaten and you're tired anyway, and you just want to get home. And
I think what I might do is just rent a car, drive down, and then fly my ass back.
Yeah, let's say rent a driver. Just have somebody drive you. Can you rent drivers? Just rent a driver.
No, that would make me.
Use one of those new driverless cars and just go. Seattle, Washington. They go to sleep and wake up 3 days later.
You want me to die on the road to North Texas?
Just say Seattle, Washington. You wake up 2 days later, you're somewhere in Michigan. Whoa, hold on. What happened here? Yeah, exactly. I'm not ready to use driverless cars yet.
Oh, Joe. Low blow, man.
Wow.
Low blow.
Okay, on that note, I don't think we're going to get beyond that blow. Holy shit. Inside jokes, folks.
Very inside. Good. Funny still.
Yes.
But still funny.
Skeeter, thank you.
Thanks, Skeeter, for coming on tonight.
You guys are the bestest.
And by the way, Crystal, if you're still around, you need to come on our show one of these days. We'll talk about whatever you like to talk about because Crystal knows lots of stuff.
Mike is the official scheduler, folks.
She could dish dirt.
If you reach out to me, I'm going to tell you to reach out to Mike.
Yes,
we were both scheduling at one time, and that's when we had we'll have Skeeter and a few.
By the way, so scheduling. So right now we're a little light the next few weeks. I got to grab some people, but Ben Burns will be on he's got a Kickstarter in about probably I think first or second week of August. We will be looking forward to Ben Burns either August. One of the first 2 weeks of August, we'll have Ben Burns on. But yes, I don't know. Well, this is always our time, Crystal, from 7 p.m. Central on Wednesday. So we will get in touch with you, and we'd love to have you on and talk about whatever. So we're always looking for new blood here on the
new sacrifices for our Lord.
Looking for new blood.
Ooh, she's a vampire. So
there you go.
That's right, Joe. Gen Con. We're going to have lots of post Gen Con shows coming up pretty soon in the next few weeks. Because we're not going, so we're going to have to live vicariously through everybody else.
There you go.
About what happens.
So, amazing live stream audience today. You guys have been very active.
Wow. I saw so many names of people I know and some people I know and don't care about, like Ty. So,
ooh.
And Skeeter's a great guest. He talks so
thank you, Skeeter.
So much. But interesting stuff that I can actually multitask. It's like, oh,
I did my wash while Skeeter was talking. I did my whole wash. It was great.
So, Skeeter,
I'm a wordy bitch.
You're always welcome on the show, Skeeter.
Yes, Skeeter, you are. Yes,
you can bring your lesser half one time if you want.
Hop in whenever you wish. Matter of fact, just send Jennifer one time. You could just do whatever.
I was referring. I said lesser half, so I was referring to Zach. But
yeah. Oh yeah, Zach. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. How's that talk show going you and Zach did? Oh, wait, never mind.
Well, we used to do it on Wednesdays, but everybody does their show on Wednesdays. So
yeah, that's a rough day now with Talking Crit. Sorry, man.
I'm sorry. We probably stole your audience. I'm sorry.
The better talk show host won. I'm sorry, man.
Hey. No, I have real stuff to do. I can't do the show anymore.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
wow.
Real stuff. What you call real stuff? We call work. We don't do that.
Yes, you do.
We don't do that anymore. Oh, God. Sorry. I'm overclamped.
Well, thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you, guys. And do not support Apotheosis.
And thank you for letting me know about News TSR. I'm waiting for Oath of the Paladin now with bated breath. I can't wait. For Oath of the Paladin.
Folks, Friday, the return of Glenn Hallstrom, hopefully.
That's right.
Glenn remembers the show. I'll remind him. Trust me.
I'll be in my hotel room. I'll come in and give you both a hard time, as usual.
All right, folks. As always, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice. Roll them well. I'll catch you all later.
Later.